At 06:37 on the morning of July 10, 2025, the radar room aboard USS Samson lit up with a single fast-moving contact, 380 nautical miles southwest of Acapulco, deep in what should have been a quiet Pacific patrol corridor. But this signal was anything but quiet. It was accelerating fast. In the Combat Information Center, there was no guessing. Within 20 seconds, the watch team confirmed it was a small, low-profile vessel riding the wave tops, the kind favored by smuggling gangs flying no flag, broadcasting no call sign, and ignoring all hails. Then the screen flashed as black shapes shot from its stern packages, not fuel evidence being dumped at sea. On the bridge, Commander Matthew Harding didn't hesitate. No court order, no paperwork, he needed engines and air support. Set condition 3. Launch Romeo. 90 seconds later, an MH-60R Seahawk call sign, Reaper 1, tore off the flight deck, banking southeast toward the target. Below the suspect vessel, carved white arcs across the blue water, desperate to flee, but it had picked the wrong ocean today. Samson was in the middle of Operation Pacific Watch, a high-priority US Navy counter-narcotics mission, and today's cargo was worth $58 million. Reaper 1 skimmed just 200 feet above the water at 120 knots, carrying not heavy ordnance, but a US Coast Guard VBSS team ready to strike. As the helicopter closed in, the boat swerved into sharp zigzags, engines screaming, dumping more cargo. One package slammed into the hull and burst apart in a white spray. Reaper 1 locked on. The suspects finally looked up, still with no radio contact and no slowdown. The order came. Warning shots. The Seahawk banked left. The door gunner raised his arm, and a burst of rounds tore into the water, just 10 meters off the starboard beam, an unmistakable message. Stop now. They didn't. Harding's voice cut in, disable the engine. The Seahawk swooped again. This time the round struck home, punching into the outboard motor sparks, flaring before it died. The boat lurched, smoke rising, momentum fading. It was over. Hands went up, heads dropped, but the mission wasn't finished. Reaper 1 hovered overhead as two RHIBs roared from Samson's portside, VBSS operators in body armor weapons, ready, moving with precision. In under 4 minutes, they would board, secure search, and seize, not just stopping contraband, but making arrests, recovering evidence, and asserting the reach of US law far out at sea. That moment was closing in like a storm. Just minutes after the disabling strike, the US Coast Guard took the lead, guiding VBSS teams from USS Sampson in to close on the crippled vessel. Rifles were raised commands barked in both Spanish and English. No gunfire, no resistance. Two suspects, men in their early 30s, sun-darkened skin, adrenaline still flashing in their eyes, knelt on the slick fiberglass deckhands clasped behind their heads, eyes locked on the Seahawk circling above. They carried no weapons, but the waters around them held something far more dangerous over a dozen tightly wrapped bales. Some half-submerged, others waterlogged, bobbing nearby. Each was hauled aboard, tagged and logged. With the suspects secured, the legal transfer process began. Under international maritime law, a vessel with no flag and no registration is considered stateless, making it subject to boarding and search under US authority. This boat had ignored all warnings, meaning the Coast Guard now held full control. A field test kit was opened. A sample sliced from a wet brick. White powder. The team sergeant placed it on a test strip. Within seconds, the telltale bright blue reaction appeared: pure cocaine. Total 47 bales, 560 kilograms, wholesale value 58 million. On the street, that figure could easily triple depending on the route. The suspects were cuffed and read their rights under US maritime drug enforcement procedures. They said nothing. Inspection of the vessel revealed no lights, a disabled engine, cracked hull, no radio, no life jackets. It wasn't sinking, but it was a hazard to navigation. A liaison radioed back. Target secure. 2 detainees in custody. Cocaine confirmed. Vessel classified as a maritime hazard. But the job wasn't finished. Stopping them was only the beginning. Next came disposal. In this case, destruction. USS Sampson wasn't patrolling here by chance. Her presence was part of Pacific Watch, a joint maritime security operation led by US Northern Command in coordination with the Department of Homeland Security and the US Coast Guard, designed to intercept transnational criminal threats before they reached American shores. The mission monitored high-speed smuggling lanes between Central America and the southern United States. And today, Sampson was in exactly the right place at exactly the right time. But stopping a stateless vessel isn't just about tactics, it's a matter of legal authority. The Navy has the reach, firepower and mobility to locate and intercept, but only the Coast Guard can legally seize the cargo and arrest the suspects. That's why Navy warships like Sampson carry US Coast Guard law enforcement teams ready to take over when the moment comes. Once a vessel is confirmed stateless and carrying contraband, operational control transfers from the Navy's 3rd Fleet to the Coast Guard's 11th District in California, a quiet shift but a critical one. For Sampson's crew, it was a familiar but always dangerous assignment. DDG-102 is an Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyer, more often tasked with ballistic missile defense or anti-submarine warfare. But in multi-mission operations like Pacific Watch, she becomes a multi-tool radar, shifting from tracking threats to spotting smugglers, Tomahawk missile tubes silent while RHIBs race ahead. And everything that unfolded today reinforced one truth: that sea speed and firepower matter. But the decisive edge comes from the union of law and military strength. Want to see more of USS Sampson's high-stakes missions? Subscribe now so you won't miss a single moment.